Hi, I'm Myrna Balk. This is my artwork. It's an accumulation of work over the past 10 years, but more recently, the last 2 years. It's focusing on the issue of the demand factor, buying despair, which is the title of the show. It's looking at the fact that the increased demand for women is skyrocketing the demand for women, sex trade, and the prostituting of women and girls. The work that you see behind me focuses on the fact that there's a shortage of housing. Housing symbolizes security and warmth. It's a universal symptom for what everybody wants, but not everybody has. Housing is also a place for violence, for domestic violence, for despair, for incest, and for prostitution, where pimps take people. In this monotype, I did it in the Mission Hill area, and I was struck by the fact that there was a sign that said no parking, and it seemed to me it should also say no parking and no guns, because there were so many shootings in that area. Then more recently I thought what it should really say is no parking, no guns, and no pimps. We don't want pimps in our neighborhood. This panel looks at a variety of women. They're nameless, they're not faceless. They represent your neighbors and my neighbors, our children, women from around the world, and women next door. What I wanted to point out is that many people can be seduced into believing a pimp is really a friend when actually he wants to prostitute her. We know that about between 75 and 85% of all women who are prostituted have been raped or victims of incest as children. They don't get the money. They're often raped even while their bodies are being sold, and the money goes to the pimp. They are victims of many medical illnesses, post-traumatic stress, uterine cancer, and depression. About 93% say that they would leave the business and run away from their pimp if they had services and if they had a place to live. This series is called Empty Playgrounds. Where are the children? We see on the top dry point technique, an etching, and a monotype. And what I'm trying to say is, why aren't the kids in the playgrounds? And some of them aren't in the playgrounds because they've been picked up by pimps, they've been prostituted, and they aren't going to school, or they've run away from school. In San Francisco, we're told that 7,000 high school girls, or about 20% of the girls, have sold their bodies for food, shelter, and clothes, that they are so deprived. We keep cutting down on our budgets for shelter, for schooling, and they end up running away without alternatives, without jobs, and without feeling a sense of empowerment. This man represents the problem of sex tourism. There are 25 agencies and about 100 websites that talk to men about sex tourism. This means that for a certain amount of money, a man can get a ticket and arrangements in New York or Boston or Chicago and go to the Philippines or Thailand and be promised that 6 virgins or 10 virgins will be waiting for him when he arrives. The United States government has made it illegal to have sex with a minor in another country, and they are trying to prosecute it, but it's still a very big problem. In this picture, which is a collage, I have the man, which is the tourist, and he's got his arms around 3 women, which are the round faces. Down here we have woodcuts, which represent luggage, which he will take with him, and the luggage also reflects on the problem of hanging things from the wall. And then I realized the idea came rather quickly. What I really wanted to do was have the 2 ladders, the rope, and the women. These are 3 women. One's sort of falling off, one's standing up, and one's flying away to safety on the rope, a tightrope, because their life is like a tightrope. And if they fall to the lions. And underneath we have the lions, the men who are waiting for them to fall. The strip across their eyes, which may not be the best way to show it, but it's what I have so far, is to show that these men want to be anonymous. They don't want to be arrested. And part of the problem is that the laws actually say it's illegal to buy sex and it's illegal to sell sex. But the truth is that 1 man for every 10 or 20 women are arrested. And the men are considered doing what's natural for men to do. And the women, even if they're minors, and they're being sexually abused, and their victims are often arrested and put in jail rather than rehabilitated. This is changing a little bit, and the Boston DA's office are starting to define these underage girls as victims rather than illegal people. Here we have a continuation of the glimmer of hope, and that is, I'm suggesting again, together we can make a difference, and that's why I mentioned the NGOs. We can't do it alone. We can't do it with only legislation. We have to have people aggravating and instrumental in prodding the government. And if we join hands, we can make a difference. It's been shown in various places, and we have to keep trying. We know that in Amsterdam, where prostitution is now legal, the problem has gotten significantly worse. They're not confronting it. They're not thinking about the health of the women and the men, and it's really worse. So we have to find other solutions, and we have to work together, and that's what the hands are showing. At first, I wasn't sure if the hands really fit into the overall theme, and when I asked a friend, I said, I don't have the words to express why I think it works. She looked at me and said, of course it does. It's showing that we'll work together. So in all of these cases, the artwork really came before the text, and the text was much more difficult for me than the artwork. But the artwork had sort of a preconscious meaning to me, and it got pulled together as I started thinking about the text. So I'm often at open studios at Cambridge Open Studio. You can find me there. It's usually in the fall. I do have a website now that shows this work, and you can also Google me and get some information about the past work. In the Google, you can find the work that I did from trafficking that was at the UN. My new website is my name, and I'll spell the whole thing out for you, myrnabalk.com. And there you can find the current work, some of the past work, and some photographs that I took at an untouchable village in Nepal. I'd love to hear from you if you want to check out the website and give me an email.